Welcome to this week's edition of Coach Prep. Coach Don and I are here in the Cherokee Batting Range podcast studio getting ready to record episode number 241. Where we're going to talk about when things go really, really wrong on the field and what that means for us as we're coaching and what it means for our players as they're playing. So before we get into all that stuff, though, let's talk about our sponsor. First, the Anderson Bat Company. Everything Fast Pitch is very proud to have Anderson Bat Company as our presenting sponsor. Anderson Bat Company is using the latest and greatest bat technology to corner the market in the fast pitch world. They have the -9 Rocket Tech, the -10 Carbon, and the -11 Carbon Light. Anderson Bat Company is using this technology to put a high-performing bat in the hands of hitters that really know the difference between a good bat and a great bat. We're also working with Anderson to provide a discount for all of our listeners. Go to the Anderson Bat Company website and order your bats. Use the EFP20 discount, which is for everything fast pitch, and you'll get a 20% discount. And again, please make sure you take advantage of that EFP20. It's a great way for you to save on your purchase, but also it helps support the podcast at the same time. Also would love for you to become a patron. Go to patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. It's $5, $10, or $20 a month. We do really appreciate the patrons we have. They've been doing an amazing job of supporting us. We'd love to see some more people come on board. So if you see value in what we're doing, you want us to be able to keep doing it, please consider becoming a patron. Go to patreon.com. So, Don, we talk a lot about communication, talk a lot about things that happen on the field. And one of the things that Dan mentioned earlier that I can't help but notice is that I think more and more, I think we're doing a good job of helping players understand what to do when things go right. But I'm not so sure that we're taking that to the next level and helping them understand that things are going to go wrong. Mistakes are going to be made. Things are going to go haywire. And when it's all hitting the fan, how do we know what to do, when to do, why we do the next things we should be doing to keep it from getting worse?
So we kind of have to teach the kids to anticipate because, things happen.
Right. And I think it's anticipation is a big part of it. And I also think stick-to-itiveness and commitment to sticking with it and finishing out the play, being able to shake off the mistake and move on to the next thing so that maybe something good can happen. And I saw a play in one of the college games the other day where routine ball got hit to the shortstop, and there's just no nice way to say it. She just flat out kicked it. But the runner that ran in front of her going to third took a little bit of a bigger turn than she should have. And because the shortstop got right back in the game, she recovered, got back to the ball, and threw behind the runner, and the third baseman tagged her out for a big out in that inning. So because she stayed in the game, stayed in the play, because the third baseman stayed in the play and stayed in the game, they ended up being able to make chicken salad out of chicken stuff because they turned what could have been a real negative situation into something positive. And so whether it's a simple situation like that where it's just one player makes a mistake and a couple of players work together to fix it, or let's say it's the bunt play that goes crazy and the ball gets thrown down into the right field corner, and all of a sudden we got runners running the bases like crazy and a whole lot of people scrambling all over the field.
Tori, I think that's the perfect one because I'm seeing, especially with younger players or smaller type age groups, because everything happens a little slower, and you'll see it go down into the corner, and then you'll see the throw come into second base, and it goes over second base, and there's nobody backing up second base.
Right.
And then they'll make a throw over to third, and then there's nobody backing up third, and then they'll throw to home, and there's nobody. So it happens so slow. It's like, oh, that would have been nice for us to have, coach the kids to be in those spots.
Right.
Because just like you said, when things go wrong, there's still another play.
Right.
And we've got to anticipate what to do next.
And I think the whole what's next, what's the next play, what's the next opportunity, what's my next obligation or responsibility is something that we really can teach and something we really can incorporate. And so one of the things that I think we have to do more of in practice, the trap that we all fall into as coaches is we want to get into the truck at the end of practice and go, dang, we're really good. Man, we're really good. Wow, that was a great practice. The kids looked awesome today. But the reality of it is that if that's how I feel when I get in the truck after practice, we might not have worked on all the stuff that we really should have. Because if we're not putting enough pressure on them, if we're not exposing potential weaknesses, if we're not creating
finding things we're not good at,
right? Creating situations to discover those things, we're going to find them, we're going to see them, but we're going to see them on game day instead of in practice. So while the idea of telling your third baseman to overthrow the second baseman covering first on purpose seems a little bit extreme. Maybe I don't have her throw it away, but maybe I have her give it to me and I throw it away. right? Something like that, just so that we can create some of these situations. The what's next? Where do I go next? What do I do next? Now, some of that takes away one of the reasons why I think some of this stuff really goes bad is usually, and again, I think this can be age specific, but I've seen it with college players too. Sometimes the player that makes the mistake is the one that shuts down, and they could really save it by doing something positive later on in that sequence. And
Going to plan B.
Right.
Yep.
So if I'm the one that throws it away, instead of standing there moping and throwing my glove and acting like I
lost it for everybody,
that I'm the center of attention, let's look and say, okay, but hey, I still need to get back and cover third base because that might be where that runner ends up going.
Or we got a rundown now.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Or if I'm the pitcher and I throw it away, and all of a sudden, wait a second, no, I got to back up home plate or I got to back up third base because that's where that next play is going to be. If I'm that left fielder who's standing out there watching the third baseman throw the ball down into the right field corner, should I still be standing in left field while all this stuff is going on, or should I be looking for
the throw coming back to third,
backing up at second or backing up at third or wherever it might be? Maybe I'm going to start off thinking, well, there might be a play at second, so I get ready to back that up. And then as soon as I see that she's not stopping at second, now I got to haul, the mail to get over to back up third base.
Mm-hmm.
While all that's happening, maybe because I'm the left fielder and I'm not actively involved in chasing the ball down, maybe I'm the one who should be communicating, hey, we still can get her at 3, get her at 3, get her at 3.
Or throw your glove down and
right,
pout.
Or be stomping around being mad because we made a mistake. And so this whole what's next, the secondary play, the third level, the fourth level, when you're around this game long enough, you're going to see situations where teams really could get out of the mess they've made if they just keep working on trying to solve the problems instead of moping, quitting, being mad, being frustrated, looking to blame somebody, whatever it might be.
No, I think that's a good topic for sure, because I think often we do only talk about that first level.
Right.
But again, it doesn't always go as planned.
Right. Well, it's nice if it does.
Sure.
But when you watch really good teams, you can tell really good teams are thinking about the secondary play, the third level, the fourth level, because if I'm trying to think of all that stuff while I'm supposed to be doing it, it's a whole lot harder than if I've kind of rehearsed it in my mind. And the whole mental rehearsal of, if I'm the shortstop in that situation, and I have to be thinking in my head, well, ground ball to me, my play is going to be to 1. But if I have a play at third, then I'm going to make a play at third. If she rounds at third and I do the fake throw and I throw behind her, she's rounding third and I kick it and I got a chance to, flip the ball over behind her to get an out. There's all those different things that could potentially happen. But if it's like, I'm not thinking about it at all, I'm not planning for it at all, and then all of a sudden it presents itself, the 2 seconds I spend thinking about, oh, hey, I bet you if I throw it to third, I could get her. It's always changing. It's never ending. But until the umpire says time, let's keep thinking about ways that we can keep getting involved in these plays and doing things that we can to potentially turn something bad into something positive, or at least make something bad as least
manageable,
as manageable as possible, as to create as little damage as we possibly can. And so if we make an error and it costs us 1 run, that's life, that's going to happen. But let's not create a situation where we make 1 error that could cost us 1 run and we turn it into costing us 2 or 3 or the game.
Cleans the bases, yes.
Right. All right, so that's going to wrap up number 241. Please make sure you support the Anderson Bat Company. Become a patron if you can. Go to patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. Please make sure you reach out to us with questions, comments, ideas, and especially Player of the Week nominations for the Everything Fast Pitch podcast at everythingfastpitch@gmail.com or fastpitchprep@gmail.com. Also want to make sure that you go to the fastpitchprep.com website, order your Square Cuts training discs there. They're $49.95 a dozen. We'll get them shipped out to you right away. So for Coach Don McKinley and our producer Stan Lewis, this is Coach Torrey saying thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next week.